And we're back for one more show of Neighborhood News. It's Tuesday, 7 o'clock at night. We're back here on Channel 95 for one more show of the Neighborhood News. For our Portuguese listeners, sejam bem-vindos para mais um programa das notícias da sua vizinhança. É terça-feira, aqui no canal 95, estamos de volta para mais um programa de notícias da sua vizinhança. Hoje temos convidados connosco e nós vamos falar com o nosso convidado, mas gostava de aproveitar, já que estou a falar em português, para mencionar que nós temos um programa novo aqui no canal 95 chamado Amigos e é tudo transmitido na nossa língua portuguesa, portanto fique atento para os horários que o programa irá para o ar. Portanto, fique connosco. And we're back for one more show. I would like to remind you, if you have family that Portuguese, we have a new show starting here on Channel 95 called Amigos, and it's going to be just in Portuguese. So you can let all your Portuguese friends know. They can look at the show here on Channel 95. And with us is Bernadette. One more week.
One more week.
And hope the weather this week is better.
I agree. It is spring, isn't it?
Than last week.
Or are we going backwards?
Yes, last Monday
so.
was
snow.
Good for the Mahaks.
Yeah.
And on the studio with us we have Joe Rodrigues, and what I have to say this because we met through a recall, and I have to say I was not in favor of the recall, but I did met a lot of good people and a lot of friends, and because just for the fact that we sometimes don't agree with each other, that doesn't mean that we could not have and be good friends. And I, at this point, I have, it's a big group, and I know a lot of people on the group that I call friends, and I tried to help them. They came to stay, and it was just like more as a get-together thing on the star. Let's get together. In the meantime, let's use our free time to do something so the city can benefit, but the recall was gone, came and gone, and the people stay together, and they still working on our neighborhoods and on our city. Melissa was part of the group. She contacted me not too long ago because I think you guys are trying the 501c3.
We did. We're officially a 501c3. We filed the paperwork about 4 months ago, and we've got we're official, and we're ready. We're an official nonprofit charity.
Good for you. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
That's a great step.
It's a big step.
Absolutely.
And I was, she had couple of questions, and I hope I give them the good lead and answer the questions that I knew that could help the group. Same things going on now with another group that's been starting to, I believe Allison, her name?
Allison Briggs. She's kind of an offshoot again of the whole recall Facebook.
Yeah. She contacted me. We contacted through Facebook, and again, give her my advice, and because we do have things and laws that we have to obey when becomes removing graffiti. Make sure that the police are not using that notified, because sometimes they have investigations going on with particular graffiti, and so they don't interfere with the investigations. Another process is make sure that the owners know that we're going to be at private property, removing graffiti. Same thing with cleanups and stuff like that. And that's pretty much what I was texting her back and forth. Make sure I don't want you to get in trouble. I know you have a good intention, but but make sure you don't end up getting in trouble yourself. But
right.
With that being said, let's talk about the Angels. When we started?
Well, we all met, there was a group of, I believe there's 11 people on our board of directors. We all met during the recall. There was a group of friends that we all were involved in, and then when the recall ended, we were looking for something to keep doing good for the city. And whether the recall was good or bad for the city, we were involved in that. And then we spread out and we started doing some cleanups because we didn't have any money, and you could do a cleanup for free.
Right.
So we started doing our citywide some cleanups. We started doing neighborhoods, pick a spot, and we clean out. And then we joined in with the St. Anne's Neighborhood Association during the citywide cleanup last year, and we cleaned the lower part down along the waterfront. And we pulled tires up off the beach and got a bunch of stuff out of there. And then we actually went to the to your neighborhood, and we cleaned up. We brought a group of people. One of the things that Angels has is we have a pretty good network on Facebook. We have about 1,800 friends, I believe, on Facebook. So when we put out a call to duty, we get a call to duty. So we showed up in your neighborhood with maybe 35 people showed up. So you had something going on at the...
Yes, we had the cookout.
Yep, at the
We had the
street.
cookout, and I told my director there that takes care of the food, I said, make sure you have plenty of food because we have another 30 people coming
you
in.
look at me, you know I can eat something. No, so
But it was good, yes,
it was good. So we went there and we did a cleanup that neighborhood, and we've done, this year it was our second annual. We fed about 200 people again this year on Thanksgiving.
Oh my God.
At the VFW, so it was our second year.
Oh,
we were
that's great.
Veterans of it, and the first one we did was prior to being a group. It was it was still during the recall, and then this year was our first year on our own, and we served, like I say, about 200 people.
Oh
and
my God, that's awesome.
all the food was pretty much donated except for some of the turkeys, but all the canned goods. We had a food drive prior, and people brought stuff in, and then anything that was overage, I gave to Mr. Primo, Joe Primo, who runs Saturday's Kitchen, which is, he's an incredible guy, and he deserves a lot of praise because he works really hard to feed a lot of people in the city. That whole network of people that feed people in Florida that you don't know about, him and Paul from the Veterans Center, and all these people that kind of barter food around the city. I got 10 cases of Kool-Aid, and what do you need? And they trade, and so people are all getting fed in the city, and so we collect all this food, and then we serve people on Thanksgiving. And we've done it twice now, and that's what we really want to do. We want to make Florida better.
Absolutely.
The cleanups we've done, we're involved again this year in the citywide cleanup, which is May 15th. And we're going to be cleaning up the Danforth Street area, which someone in that neighborhood had reached out to Angels and said, hey, can it help us do something down there? So it was still kind of cold, and we looked at the date, and we said, let's do it during the citywide cleanup. So we have about 100 people that will probably draw.
Nice.
And we'll go down Danforth Street, which is probably the worst place in Florida, right, along that hill, down along the waterfront. And there's that beautiful basketball court that they repaired across from the AMVETS there. It's beautiful, but it's all overgrown on the back. And if we cleared all that out, you'd have this great view of the bay. And it's like, it's a nice little spot. So we're going to take care of that area. We done, probably 10 cleanups maybe in the city. And every time it's just amazing what you pull out and what you get. We, about 2 weeks ago, I think we did, I don't even remember the name of this, in the street, in the Flint. Rockcliffe Street, which was along that fence where Rothschild's, the backside of Rothschild's Mill, I believe they probably own that strip of land. And it was, we filled up, I don't know,
30 bags.
Maybe more than that, because we had 3 dump truck loads went out of there. Along that street, I mean, it looks like if there was $80,000 in Dunkin' Donut cups. like people just...
No kidding.
Please, people out there, don't throw your stuff in the streets.
I know,
Like,
find a
take
barrel.
it a couple of feet, and just get rid of it somewhere else. But just to throw it on the street, it just continually makes our city look bad. I mean, you drive down a city, you get off the highway, off ramps in the city, come down off of 79 or into Fall River, and all you see, Plymouth Avenue is just atrocious on both sides of the road there. There's a bazillion cigarette butts. There's soda cans. People pull up there and go.
Yeah.
It's like
it's horrible.
It's horrible. Like take it home, please. You can throw that in the recycling bin. Pretty much everything goes in the recycling bin. So you can throw it in the recycling bin. But we definitely have a trash problem in the city, and cleaning it up has been one of our goals. It's not our only goal. We want to feed people. I've always been led to feeding people. Mr. Primo, I've been working with him for a couple of years now over there, and every other Saturday he serves a hot meal. It's just those Mr. Primo and Liz Primo are the two incredible people in Florida that I didn't even know existed until I got involved in doing stuff.
No kidding.
And, you know, and even you, Carlos, you're a big guy in the city too. You do a lot of things that people don't know about.
We try,
And that's what I want people to think of Angels as, that a group of people that get together to do good things for the city and make it a great place to live. Because it is a great place to live.
Absolutely.
I mean, with all the stuff that goes on with politics in the city, and I know I listened to your last show being filmed, it's going on everywhere.
Right.
It's bad, but it's a place I want to live. I know you want to live here. You would have left, and you would have left. People stay here because they have family and just ties. You know, the food, the parks, the people.
And we didn't give up in the city yet.
I won't give up. I mean, I love living in the city. I live in the cultural district over there. So I can walk to get a coffee in the morning and a pastry. I can be at Europa in 2 minutes. I can be anywhere I want in my neighborhood, and I like it there. I know Josh was here earlier. He likes his neighborhood. Josh is a member of Angels as well. He's been involved from the get-go. Josh is a working man. He gets out there and likes to do some stuff. But we are really excited about all our adventures. We have, I don't think it'll make it, but we're doing a bus trip to Foxwoods on April 10th. It's a Sunday. It's in the afternoon. We'll be back by 8:30, so you don't have to worry about missing work or anything. And we're doing that. And then we have May 15th, we're doing the citywide cleanup. We have a Casurla, we're calling it Comedy with the Angels, or Laughing with the Angels. That's going to be at the Elks Club on May 27th.
Yep. I got my tickets already. So.
Yes, that's going to be great. We got
it's safe.
Chef Tony Abreu. He is a veteran of the Madeira Feast, and he's been cooking at the Madeira Feast for a bunch of years. And he's going to cook the cassoulet up there, and I'll be helping him. And we have some great shows. Comedians, Anthony Brooks, who's a Fall River guy. He's called the Stuttering Comedian. He's funny, and then there's 4 or 5 other local people that are going to be involved in it. It should be a really good night, and the money is going to Angels, and it'll be used for great purposes, whether it's to feed, clothe, or clean the streets, buy brooms, or whatever we have to do. But it's going to all go back into the city, and it's going to feed the people that we care about, you know, our neighbors. Everyone has tough times, and there's a lot of people in Florida who have tough times. So you have to just reach out to them and help them as best you can. And that's all I want to do.
And since we are talking about this, remember that we are in a process now of renovating the Duval School into a community center. And the purpose of the community center is to have groups like yours that need places to meet, need places to call home, need a place to call home. So being a nonprofit organization, that's a perfect example, and we will welcome you guys to be on the building.
That's a great thing. We've actually starting to look around now. We're trying to find some kind of storefront or something where we do a lot of food drives, and the power of Facebook is incredible for our food drives. We get so much food donated, and we either have to have it earmarked to go somewhere prior to we do it, because we really don't have a place to do it. I store some stuff down at my shop on occasions, but it's nice to be able to say, what we collect today, we're going to send it to Saturday's Kitchen to be used. And what Saturday's Kitchen does with it, he might not use it for the meal, but he gives everyone who goes in to eat a bag of food to go home with, and that's
phenomenal.
A really nice thing.
Yeah,
you know,
that's phenomenal.
So they get 2 meals, one there and one to go, and that's a great thing. So what we want to do maybe is get a place where we can collect some food as well, and then when people reach out to our group looking for help, and it's not all, we probably don't always have money because you try to use it in the best ways. But if we had food in a place that they could come in and say, hey, grab a bag and take what you like,
right,
and we'll help you out. And that's one of the things that we want to do. We have a lot of great ideas, but we all have real jobs as well. So I'm in the middle of a big Navy contract right now, so it's kind of, we're a little bit busy, but we're trying to do as much as we can with the time that we have. So that's why we reach out, and we love volunteers. Everyone's an angel. Everyone's an angel. We on our corporation, there's 4 people that are the angels, but in the real life, we're all angels.
Absolutely.
And we want people to come and help, and any little bit of help, volunteering you can do is incredible, and it helps so much.
That's
and
great.
you're a great example in the city. I wanted to praise you that you do. I didn't know you until the recall and all that stuff went on, and I never met you personally, but I always saw you from the outside, and I always saw that Carlos does a lot of great things for the city, so I just want to commend you on doing that as well.
He does. I don't know where he finds all the time, though.
It's my full time. That's what I do.
know.
My full time.
My goodness.
Thank God that I have the time
The
to
job
do
that
it,
you do,
and
yeah,
the job
that
that I do
allows you to do that,
allows
yeah.
me to
You're right.
to do that. And
It's true.
but summer, it's always good to do stuff, but comes and goes fast.
It does. I mean, the summer is 8
Short.
weeks.
Yeah, it's so
Yeah.
short.
I used to say I had a pool when I lived in Somerset, when I was in the other side of the bridge, and the kids would be in it, and it was only good for 8 weeks. You had July and August.
Yeah.
The rest is was in school, and the summer's over. But we've done some stuff in the winter. We've done some clothing drives, warm weather clothing drives that we drop off clothes at Saturday's Kitchen. They give clothes, or the Salvation Army, if you have overflow, whatever we might have that we collect to try to just give people something. It's sad that we have people living.
It is.
Last year, it was not this past winter, the winter before. It was one of those nights that it was -3 degrees, and a couple of people that were in the Angels were down underneath a bridge overpass helping someone out from down there to get them to a hotel.
That was awesome.
So there's a lot of people that live on the in the woods of the city that you don't even know about it.
You paid for a room. I remember that.
Yeah, we put him in a hotel,
That
and
was
a lot
great.
of people helped out on that.
Yeah,
It was just
that was
wasn't just
great.
saying, it was a bunch of people. People were calling the hotel and putting another day on their credit
That's
card
great.
for them. And
That's great.
kept them up there for a little while. They warmed up, and it's tragic that people live under
A bridge.
a bridge. Now we have the new bike pathway that took away 3 locations along that people lived along that underneath those overpasses.
Yeah.
So there's still an issue. A lot of homeless in Fall River that people don't see. You don't know it if you don't look for them. But
Right.
if you walk the railroad tracks, or if you look behind buildings and stuff, there's a lot of people living on the streets in the city. So a lot of good people doing good things at Gates of Hope.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes.
Yes.
That's down in your
Faith, it's on my board. On my board on the association, and she does a great job there. Just yesterday, she got a big load of bread, and she said, "Thank God it's gone."
I know. I saw it. White bread and rye bread.
Yeah.
Wheat bread.
And she did this year, the first time she did Easter hunt. Egg at the Lafayette Park a couple of weekends ago, and she said she had over 80 kids there with the parents. So it's and people can say whatever they want. You only fund this in Fall River.
I agree 100%.
People can say whatever they want, but Fall River is like you need. I'm here.
Oh, yeah.
And there's so many groups asking for help.
Yeah.
So many groups
Yep.
asking for help, and they all get help.
There's a lot of people reaching out. I never really knew about it. I was blinded by it. I was always involved in just working, doing my job, and making things happen. And then I started to step back and start to say that there are other people who need things. And I worked for a large firm and was bought out in 2008 when the auto industry went down. And I lost my job, and I went from making big dollars to no dollars, as I call it. And
Right.
a lot of things changed in my life, and I learned how to live differently. And I my life's great now, but there was a couple of weeks there I was a little afraid
Right.
that stuff was changing. But long as you know that the people out there who can help you, and you just got to reach out and ask them for a little bit of help, and people will come and help you with forever.
Yeah, I
Yes.
agree. The
And
one thing I find with that too is you can't let your pride get the best of you, because a lot of people need the help, but they find that they're, too proud to maybe ask for it. But it doesn't hurt to ask for help, absolutely. And there's so many groups.
And
that'll
another
help.
great thing about volunteering is you get to meet your neighbors, and that is
Yeah,
probably the best
I agree
thing.
with that, yeah.
I've made so many. I have more friends now than I had when I was in high school or in the Army.
I know.
Because of just from volunteering and meeting these people. I go like, I would have never met you or you.
Right.
Our paths would never really cross.
Right.
The group of angels is 11 board members. Now there was 12 originally. So I didn't know anyone except just one. And pretty much that's how all of us were in the group. And I consider all those people my best friends list.
Right,
I have a
right.
big best friends list. But
Can you imagine, and we're talking about among adults, can you imagine if we could reach out to the kids in the schools and get them involved to volunteer, and starting them in very young age how to appreciate
Each other.
how
Right.
to appreciate the lives they have,
Right.
because they have a home to live
Yeah.
and they have food on the table.
Very true.
I think we've been losing that part of community, reaching out to the younger generation and make them be part of.
yeah, there's a gap. I have two children, 21 and 24. So they're a little different. The groups of the children, how they are, a little different when we were growing up. We
Right.
didn't have Xbox or PlayStation
Right.
or any of that stuff.
Phones,
we
the
had
iPads.
I played with outside.
Right.
That's what
Yeah,
that's what I was told. Go outside.
Yeah.
Right.
Outside. So that's what we had. So they have a lot more. So their groups are a little different how they meet, but we have a lot of people who bring their children to help on some of the cleanups. We kind of limit what they can do and make sure,
Yeah.
but we more than welcome children to come out and help, and it's you need to see what's going on in the city.
Oh, yeah.
And we had some young children volunteer at Thanksgiving this year serving, and it's just a good thing. I learned from Mr. Primo, when you serve someone, that they sit down, everyone sits down, and they have someone who brings them their meal. Everybody gets the same thing, but they go down like it's a waitress, and they bring you your meal, and you feel like you're part of something.
Yeah.
We did the same thing our Thanksgiving. We want people to feel like it's not a handout. It's not a handout. It's just me having dinner with you.
Right,
I want you
right.
to come and share what we got. That's the bounty. That's where we
Yes.
always talk about the bounty. When we talk about the bounty, is we want to share that bounty with all the people that are in the city.
And then you have those that this year were eating, but next year they want to be on the other side. They want to be feeding people.
We have We've had a few people that actually helped. Came the first time, but actually came to Thanksgiving the second year and helped in the with the serving and how we did our prep plan. So I think that there's a lot of great people in Florida. We just have to bring them out and bring them together
Yeah,
so they
yeah.
can
Sure
be
thing.
more than what they.
Sure thing.
And
Agree.
what did you think that you or what did you expect to see 1 year from now from Angels?
Well, I hope that in a year we have a storefront of some sort that we can store our clothing that we do on our drive, so we can keep it a little longer than just give it. We give it out because people need it, but it'd be nice to have a little area where we could have some clothes and some food, so when someone came to Angels and said, I need some help,
Right.
we might not be able to help you financially, but here's some clothes, here's some food. Maybe we can share your story with someone,
Right.
and maybe get you the help that you need, and that's what we try to do. But I think that's going to be something. I think that I wish I'd be retired next year and be able to do it full time, because it's addicting.
Yeah.
It is.
You want to help as many people as you can, and how you do it. We don't have a lot of money as a group. That's why we do these fundraising events, and just so we have some money to fund things, to be able to buy turkeys for Thanksgiving. It's easy to feed 2 people when you give them 1 turkey, but when you have to cook for 200,
Right.
you need a lot more turkeys.
Yeah.
And it's funny because every year it's more groups and more groups that feeding people, but it's more people coming out to eat. And all this because Suryana does it every year.
Yep. That's where I donate my turkeys, and I think they fed close to 300 people this year.
So
the SCA underneath the Cultural Center.
Right, they are. There was a lot more groups feeding this year. Not a lot of people feed on Thanksgiving. There's a lot, like Saturday's Kitchen does it Saturday before. I keep mentioning them. I know that Sacred Heart used to do it the weekend before, wherever, because people want to be with their families. But but more this year than ever served on Thanksgiving.
On Thanksgiving,
yes. That was really wonderful. We didn't have a problem giving away our food.
Yeah, and I mean, I will speak for myself. My thing is to help as many people I can during my lifetime, because everything else that I'm going to buy, and it's going to stay here.
True.
The only thing that I'm going to bring with me is the people and the thanks of the people that I help through my passaging from in here on Earth. So that's why I try to help as many people I can, because that's the legacy that I'm going to leave behind. I'm not going to leave a castle to my daughters. I'm not going to leave a lot of money on the bank. What I'm going to leave for my daughters is the legacy that people will remember me as a good person and help people and really touch some people.
Right.
And I think that's something that money cannot buy, my daughters will appreciate during their lifetime.
Right.
So.
Well, I know a lot of people appreciate what you do, Carl. So it's important that people help community leaders, your neighborhood association. People look up to you, or they come to you in your meetings. They want to hear what you have to say, and that's what more people have to do in Fall River, because it is a great place to live. I mean, there's all the politics that went on, and there's a drug epidemic in the city, and but there's
That's
still
everywhere.
a lot of great people. There's a lot of great people in the city.
It is. And the drugs, again, and we did a show a couple of weeks ago about it, is if we start spending the money on the right places, we can fix it.
Right, the war on drugs has been going on for, I don't know, 40 years, 20 years. I think they've used that term since I was in high school.
The thing is, a lot of people's been feeding out of that money, and the money is not being put into the purpose that it's supposed to.
Exactly.
So, Joe, was half an hour. Thank you again for what you do.
Everybody.
Keep doing what you're
keep doing what you do.
Absolutely.
And thank everybody on Angels Anonymous.
The whole group, yes.
For the whole group for everything.
We appreciate the time to come
Wish
on
you
and talk
luck.
about our stuff.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you.
And see you next week.
See you next week.
Bye.